Have you ever wondered why you get triggered? Have you wondered what happens when you get triggered? Also, have you wondered why do you react in a certain way when you are triggered? So, all the answers to these questions and lots more. So, stay tuned till the end because you will want to see this. Hey you beautiful souls, welcome back to my channel. So today's topic is all about triggers. A lot of people come to me and they tell me that I react impulsively. So I'll give you two examples of reaction. One is, say you're driving a car and suddenly while driving, somebody else who's not driving properly actually cuts you in, and your instant impulsive reaction is to rage. You might abuse them or yell at them, or you might even stop the car and roll your windows down and scream at them. This is one kind of reaction. The other reaction is where you might feel the stress, you might feel the tension, and instead of expressing it, you might suppress it. So you might feel so much rage inside that you might not say a single word, you freeze. Alright? So these are two kinds of responses or reactions to a trigger. One is flight and one is freeze. So there is the flight, fight, freeze and fawn response that usually humans have towards any trigger. Now what happens when you get triggered exactly? First question. The first thing that happens when you get triggered is your nervous system assumes that something really bad has happened and has to react to it. But it is up to you to pause, take a moment and understand what kind of response is necessary here. And what actually happens when you get triggered is, though you are in this adult body, your mind goes back to the childhood moment when you might have felt a certain threat or a similar threat and you reacted exactly that way in your childhood. So in other words, what really happens is your inner child surfaces and wants to react and wants to respond in the same way that the child had responded in their childhood. So a lot of people have a pattern of fight reaction, or flight reaction, or freeze reaction, or fawn reaction. What exactly do these reactions mean? A fight reaction is when you are triggered, your impulse is to fight. The freeze reaction is when you are triggered, your impulse is to freeze. The flight response is when you are triggered, you want to run away from them. Just run away. You want to go to a place where you're alone, or you want to go to a safe place, and that's where you will decide what kind of response or feelings or emotions arise. And the fawn response is the people-pleasing response. So when you are triggered with something that you don't like, say for example, someone tells you something that upsets you, you indirectly or directly agree with that person, though it is upsetting you inside. And that is pleasing that person. So you go out of your way to please that person. So for example, somebody says that, I don't like the dress that you're wearing. And it upsets you. So you will say, you will give an explanation. You know what, this dress is actually bought from here and there, and I thought it would be appropriate. Fine, if you feel that it is not right, I'll go quickly change and come. This is fawn response. And what is actually happening here is your inner child has surfaced. Your only inner child has surfaced and is responding in the same way that you had surfaced when you were a child. So what is the ideal way to be when you have been triggered? Now, when you've been triggered, the first thing I always tell all my clients is pause. I want you to take a pause and become aware of exactly what is going on here. And that pause is so important that it will help you with the right response in that circumstance. So for example, someone has actually cut you while driving. Okay, you're driving normally, everything is going fine, and somebody has cut you. Now, if you take a pause and you realize, wait, this is making me angry, I want to fight, I want to yell. And in that moment, something beautiful happens. That awareness, automatically, that nervous system of yours which has gone haywire, which has gone for a toss, it realizes, wait a minute, my nervous system has gone for a toss. Now, what is important in that moment? Whether you're having a fight response, flight response, freeze response, or even a fawn response, what is the most important in that moment? The most important thing in that moment is for you to look out for yourself. What has happened in that moment? Your inner child has surfaced. You see a threat. You have this impulse to react. Your nervous system has gone out of toss. So what is your first response? Ideally, your first response should be to bring your nervous system back to normal, to soothe your inner child, to not allow yourself to harm yourself or anybody else, and for you to bring your awareness and calmness back in this moment. This is also a part of self-love. So we as humans have become so used to reacting to even small things in life as though such a huge death-threatening situation has happened. That is the reason we get into a pattern, into a cycle of constantly reacting to simple mundane things, and in turn harming our nervous system. And when the nervous system is harmed, you actually fall sick. So a trigger, no matter how big or small it is, the first thing that you should do is pause. Take a deep breath. Become aware. Wait, is this a death-defying situation? Does this need for me to react in any way? Or can I just look after myself and calm my inner child, calm my nervous system, avoid the four, that is fight, flight, freeze, fawn response, and instead just give love to myself. So in the most simplest way, if you are looking out to bring about more harmony, more peace into your life, managing your triggers is one of the best things you can do. Best things you can do. So if you have any more questions about triggers, how to manage them, what triggers are, if you want any more explanation, please do share it in the comments below. And remember, I love you.